Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Two Idiots Talking About Art. My name is Rodney and Naoto, and with me, as always, is Rodney Thompson. Hi, Rodney-san.
Hi, I'm Ronnie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. I love you.
Aww, I love you too. Yeah, so as you may have already figured out, Ronnie is not currently here for this take. Unfortunately, he's a little busy, so it's just me and me alone. If you've come to this episode hoping to hear Ronnie's angelic voice, don't you worry, he'll be on for the actual main event. But for the time being, it's just me. Deal with it. Anywho, back to the actual subject. For this episode, we had the amazing time chatting up with New York-based artist Chris Herrera, who predominantly works in ballpoint pen, doing portraitures and figures. And his work is so good, just amazing. From the overall composition of his work to the actual detail that's displayed on his pieces. It's just, oh man. I highly recommend for you all to go check him out, which can be found on Instagram under the tag ChrisHerreraArt. So, after you're done with this episode, why don't you head on over there and take a peek. I highly recommend it, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. As far as Chris himself goes, he was such an amazing guy. Really nice, so easy to talk to. I think we all got along pretty well, if not so well. Too well, one may say. Although, maybe that's just me thinking that. I'm not sure if he feels the same way. I hope he does. We'll find out down the road, I guess. Anywho, back to it. I think that's enough of me talking here. So, why don't we go straight into the actual interview piece with Chris. Hope you all enjoy.
Welcome, everybody. We're talking with Chris Herrera, and we are very excited to have him on. Thanks, Chris, for joining us. We are two idiots, of course, and this is our third, not idiot, he's a nice guy.
I mean, I'll be the third idiot for today.
Okay, yeah. You'll be the volunteer idiot for today. Well, just to get started, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, my name is Chris Herrera, 31 years old. I've been drawing basically all my life, but I did not really start taking it serious. So I had joined the military, and I didn't feel like that was the path I wanted to go down. And I started out originally just drawing digitally for a little bit, and then I transferred over to draw more traditionally. I tried every medium I could find, and then I eventually landed on ballpoint mainly, and now I'm going to school to learn how to oil paint because I feel like that's easier to sell than ballpoint stuff, and it seems like there's more real art. There's a lot of people, so here we are.
I'm gonna go as that. I mean, if anything's a lot faster, I think, than the ballpoint from what it seems like.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of your work takes a long time.
And that real art thing is I think that what you're doing is tremendous. You have the skill, and you do this beautiful, striking work. I mean, that's completely real art. I think that's all pretentious crap that people would even say, put oil painting on such a higher level. I mean, I'm very guilty of that myself. Like if I compare acrylic and oil, but like, I mean, your work is incredible. So it's for sure real art. And also, thank you for your service too. I'm very grateful for doing
I
that.
did not know that actually. Yeah.
So you said you started digitally too. Like, what drew you to that? Were you thinking of doing like animation stuff or?
Not at all, honestly, because I remember I used to draw in school. On the side of my sketchbook, whenever I was in math class or something, like I was just bored of it, so I just do it on stuff. And then eventually I just kind of dropped it, and I was like, no, I'm not going to go anywhere with this. I don't know what to do with it. Then when I was in the military, in the Navy, I knew within like 2 months of being in the military that it wasn't for me. But I had already signed the 4-year contract, so I was like, well, I'm here for as long as I can. And within my third year, I found a group. This was around when Instagram was starting to get popular, and I found a group that you guys remember the game Draw Something.
Yeah, I don't.
What is that?
Know that I participated that much in it, but yeah, I remember that.
What is it?
It's like they give you a word, and you're supposed to draw out what it is. And the other person is supposed to guess.
Oh, like a Pictionary?
What you're drawing.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Yeah, but it was for the iPhone. And I just found this group who took that like very, very seriously. Like they spent at first it used to be that they only give you a certain amount of like ink to use, and we would use that to its extent. As much as possible we can to make it like as detailed as possible. The color were correct, like everything. So like that's what really got my fire going with art again, because I felt directionless near the end of the military, and from then on I just kept drawing on the iPad, tried drawing like Procreate and all that, just portraits. I've always loved portraits, and eventually I was like, maybe I should try traditionally to see how I feel about that, and I never went back. I want to learn now, just because it's like another medium that I want to get better at.
Yeah,
but it's a whole nother beast. So
yeah.
Was the reason that you switched over to traditional medium more or less just to kind of explore the idea of kind of switching over to digital, or was there something with the digital side of art that you just didn't feel was right?
Yeah, I think something about putting a pencil to a paper and just feeling the friction,
the texture,
it feels more natural.
Tactile feel. Yeah, there's something you can't beat that.
That's what everybody seems to say about it. I haven't done any of the iPad drawings, so I don't really know about it too well as much as what people say. But
I've seen a lot of artists that do both, so they could go anywhere with their iPad and do like even at school right now. I see artists that they bring their iPad, they do sketches real quick, and then do a full piece. Yeah, at least for like the initial sketch, they do it with digitally. Yeah,
it's a good substitution to carry out where you're carrying your tools around without the actual bulky things you have to walk around, right?
Certainly more lightweight and less cumbersome for sure.
Yeah,
I would like to try
I've done
it.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I would like to try it, but it's just $1,000. I'm like, I don't necessarily have that later out in my pocket.
I feel that way today, because that's the reason I bought it. I bought it during the pandemic. I was like, hey, I have all the time in the world now. Why not actually invest time in drawing digitally? And I spent $1,000 on it, and I spent like $100 something just to get the Apple Pencil. And then I opened up Procreate, and I felt completely overwhelmed by it. I was like, well, back to paper it is.
Oh man. Well,
so now I mainly use it to watch, shows and YouTube, and I'm like, come on, man, I spent all that money. I could have just,
I mean, now you can watch a show wherever you want, I guess.
I don't know. For those that's trying to get into digital or wants to try it, do you think there is some good side to it or a benefit to it? Would you recommend it?
Yes, I would. I think if you have more of a passion than I do for it, is perfect because I have a lot of artist friends that do draw digitally or paint digitally, and it's their go-to, especially if they travel a lot or they just don't want to be at home all day, drawing on a tablet or something,
Yeah.
like if they want to just move around. I think it's just a decent size,
Right.
so you get some amazing pieces done with it. So
Yeah.
I think I would recommend if you have more motivated than I am.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think it's what is it? What is it? It's just the for me, it's more of a generational gap, and because I'm a little bit older than you are, and for us, it was a technology that wasn't there when we were, freely learning all these things. So it's such a new thing to jump into that seems interesting, but at the same time, would I be so frustrated by not being able to do the simplest thing as I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my concern with it, but.
Yeah, I've dabbled in it a little bit, but it's definitely foreign territory. It's like I don't know
That's what it is. Yeah.
exactly what I'm doing. But I'll do mock-ups and stuff for some paintings in like Photoshop, like that one back right there. I just like crumpled stuff together and use fine brushes on there and kind of fiddle around with it. But I haven't gone and done like a full-on portrait with it. That seems daunting.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Photoshop on the iPad is something that's like, I don't know. It's just so much to learn all at once, and I'm like, I don't know. I could just ask a buddy to try to help me out, that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I interrupted you guys.
No,
not at all. No.
That is the course of our general conversation.
Yes.
How it goes.
A lot of talking over each other and stuff. So like we just did.
Exactly. Yeah. We thought we were driving towards New York. Somehow we ended in Sacramento. It was like weird. Like that's how our conversation goes.
Yeah.
That we might make it back around. But,
Yeah,
we're going to take a detour for sure.
Okay.
So where are you going to school right
The Art Student League of New
now?
York.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because of the
great spot.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's a great spot. Great school.
Yeah. Because I was in the military. I'm sorry to keep bringing them up. I'm not trying to promote them or anything like that. But because I was in it, they offer up a program where they pay for your school and they pay you to go to school.
Nice.
So this is basically my job for the next 3 years.
Okay.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So
that's really awesome.
So you just recently enrolled, basically, or like if it's been a year or so? Is that?
Ooh, no.
No.
Oh, for the league?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I did my first year starting last September.
Okay.
And it ended in May, and I'm starting back up again on the 6th.
Nice.
Awesome.
Of September, yeah.
So, have you been able to oil paint there yet, or are you just doing like some more foundational stuff so far? Or?
They just kind of throw you in there. It's not like academic school where they're like, you have to learn how to draw something a certain way for however long. I had no knowledge besides like a bunch of YouTube videos and stuff that I watched of oil painting, and then they just threw me in there. They're like, "Oh, paint." I'm like, how do I start? Like, no, they're just like, no, start painting. I'm like, I was very frustrated at the beginning.
But
eventually I found a teacher that.
Oh, as I say, you're saying eventually, but you mean that as a start, as when you started, they weren't necessarily guiding you to the right direction?
It did not. The person I took didn't really fit the style, I guess, of my kind of learning, which I didn't know. I just figured, hey, I was just somebody who knows how to open. They're just going to make it easier for me.
Right.
No, I think
it's kind of.
I got on my second try. The teacher I'm with now,
At least you found.
But I think it works for. Yeah, I think it works for their style of school because anyone could just go and take like a month of oil painting with any teacher they want or whatever they want to learn. But as like, I don't know, as a curriculum, I don't know how. Like I said, you have to find the right teachers. To learn.
That can make all the difference in the world. Is just having somebody that that fits your learning style and and is able to communicate well. I mean, that's a big one. I've had teachers in the past, or they're like, "Well, just go," and I'm like, "Well, what do I do? I don't even know where I'm at right now. I don't know how to do this." Like when I started painting, the first class I actually had, she was a great teacher, my first still life class, and but I still had no idea what I was doing. It looked like for the first semester, like I was having a heart attack while I was painting every single day. It just was so awful. But it's I mean, one day it just like clicked, and I was like, oh, okay, that's how I draw a new lips, and then, it kind of gets there. But yeah. Anyway, that's cool though that you're going to the art student league. I've heard so many good things about it, and there's a lot of great teachers, a lot of people that I follow that have taught there, and so that should end up being really well. Have you had, like, are you going to stick with portraiture, or are you feeling like you're stepping outside of your normal stuff, and are you just going to like stay focused on that?
I want to. I think I'm always going to want to do something with figures, and I do want to make. I've been thinking about this a lot, like multi-figural work, just because I think it's the next logical step. I've always done. It's so easy for me to just stay within my lane of like doing one figure and a small piece of paper, and then just like. But I do want to branch out into bigger pieces, and they just look really fun, and there's something about being in front of a really big painting that is just, it captures people a lot.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think that's the next logical step for me. So now I just need to get oil painting down.
Yeah.
Is that your?
Have you found? Oh, go ahead, Naoto.
I was gonna say, like, your current pieces are roughly about A4, right? Like majority of the sizes from what it looks like. Or that or smaller.
Yeah. For the most part, yeah. I've done within the last year, like maybe like 2 or 3 that are a little bigger, just because I want to slowly ease myself into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's usually A4.
Wait, when you're saying bigger scale, are you talking about like 24 by 38, something like that? Or are we talking like entire wall size mural pieces? One day.
I mean, eventually I want to get there.
That scares me. Just the thought of standing in front of that, trying to match things.
My God. The space, like, I get ahead of myself, and I'm like, where the hell am I going to put this when I'm done? That's the part that will deter me from getting.
Oh my God! You know about those some of the artists that does murals like on the side of an actual building, a full portraiture. Like, I just looking at him, it's my brain up so bad. I'm like, how the hell would you do that? Like, what are you like looking down below from the ladder? Like, okay, so mouthpiece over here. So like, how?
Yeah.
What? I can't even fathom with the idea. It's crazy.
Well,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this artist that I know in the Upper East Side, he was talking to me about this mural he did somewhere in California. Okay. And he was like, "Oh yeah, it was like six floors high and like 150 feet across." I was like, "How?"
Yeah, that just blows my mind. I don't even know how you begin to do that. Oh, it's really impressive to see those grand scale pieces like that on the side of a building. Well, so going back to the sizes that you paint or that you're drawing right now, how long does it take you to do one that's like an 8x12 with ballpoint? Would you say? Usually,
I try now either to find really good photographers that are good. Their photography has a lot of details in it, so it's either that or I take my own, and it's the same thing. I try to get like a really fine picture with as much detail as I possibly can. They could take hour wise. It could take me anywhere from like 40 or 50 hours to, I don't know, 100 to 200 hours.
Wow.
Depending on the level of detail. Like this, I did last year that shit wore me down time off. And overall, it took me over 6 months, and it was probably like 300 and something hours. And most of it just went to just drawing water. And it was so boring. I was done by that point. But so it really depends on how much energy, and like it also helps a lot to work on other stuff while I'm working on those kind of pieces. So so it could range, like depending on how dedicated I want to be to it.
The highest detail that I've seen on your Instagram account, which was the Snoop Dogg side portrait piece.
Oh yes,
which is first of all amazing piece.
Thank
and
you.
you're 100% right. The scanner print looks so nice. The fine details that it comes out on that is amazing. You noted that that took 2 years. Or like
Yeah,
our years,
that was one of
2
those.
years, right? Yeah. Was it like off and on kind of thing, or just continuous?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It was on off and on, and what's funny about that one is, like with the last day that I worked on it, I was just kind of tired. I'm like, I've been looking at this drawing for 2 years. I just want to knock it out, and I just did like an all-nighter, and I just got drunk because me drinking just relaxes me, so I don't have to worry about every single little thing.
Sure.
And I managed to finish that drawing drunk, which I don't want to keep doing, but I was like, it just helped me relax.
I'm impressed.
It's a Hail Mary situation.
That's
like,
awesome.
all right,
Yeah.
got my
Seriously,
bottle.
a Hail Mary situation. You're like, F this, we're doing it. Let's get it done.
Wait, when you say drinking, are you talking just beer, wine, spirit? What are we talking here?
Beer.
Okay.
Beer.
Okay.
Yeah,
whiskey,
I don't want to get hammered.
yes.
I just want to.
A bottle, yeah.
You just gotta find the right content
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
The good old bottle of Reposado in my hand, halfway through the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wake up tomorrow, let's see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's always interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's either gonna come out really good or really bad. But I was like, I trust myself enough. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
I do want to go back to more of the current stuff you're doing with oil paint, but if it's okay with you, Rodney, I kind of want to talk about more your ballpoint works that you've been so dedicatedly working on for the last several years, and I would say it's kind of the staple representation of your work as so far what the audience sees.
Yeah.
So first of all,
Yeah.
like, what made you go into ballpoint specifically? Going in tradition, because he did graphite and colored pencils in the earlier days too. I'm assuming some of those were like the initial switch over from the digital to the traditional art that you were talking about earlier. What made you land on ballpoint specifically?
It had a lot to do with, I kept getting messages on like the tools or what papers I was using and everything, and it always seemed like this idea that you need to have the most expensive tools and the most expensive oil painting or anything, oil paint or anything like that. And I just wanted to show people that you could take like a 19-cent pen and do something amazing with it. So it's just like to make it so people can see that you don't have to spend all this money to create great art.
Because one of the pens I think I saw you're using like something like Bic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For those that doesn't have video, I'm holding a Bic pen with less than $1.
I have to say too, like you definitely nailed that concept of like just showing people that you don't need a lot to do a lot. It's really impressive what you've done with your ballpoint work. And one thing that's how you caught my attention originally when I discovered your work with Here They Come, the portrait of the woman with the reflection. Holy crap. I love that piece. I can't tell you how many times I've gone back to that and looked at it and just been upset that I didn't do it myself.
Yeah.
And it was, it's so good. It's so striking. Like the really intense direct eye contact that you achieved with that and the reflection and where it looks like her head is just floating and isolated in this like just icy water pool. I mean, it's incredible. And, yeah, that I was hooked on your work at that point.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is such a good one. Are you doing prints of that by chance anyway? Like either, or is it just?
I scanned it, but I've been on the fence about prints for years because I tried it when I first started, and I would get a lot of requests for prints, and when I actually released some, nobody was buying it. So I was like, why would I want to do this? Yeah. So I do have it scanned and I do have it ready if I ever want to do it.
Okay.
But
I would want one.
Likewise,
I would actually buy it.
Yeah.
not the one I would buy, not the
Yeah.
piece that you're talking about, but the piece that's
Oh.
hanging behind you. I have no idea if that's your piece or not.
Oh,
That's directly behind you.
Yeah, it is.
It is. I
Yeah.
love that piece.
Thank you.
There's for the audience, there's a bunch of teddy bears and a girl popping her head from the crowd of teddy bears,
Now I've got to zoom.
and
in
it is
so I can see.
amazing. I love it so much. Is that graphite or is that also ballpoint?
I just
Oh yeah,
it's graphite.
I love it.
So
That's
a
awesome.
little sketch.
yeah.
Thank you.
I would probably have to get that one too.
That was actually kind of scary because your video cut for a second, and all of a sudden the portrait was
Yeah, it was
extremely
just like
zoomed up, and I had my
right up to the screen. It's like,
I was looking really close. I was like,
Oh, that's great.
Question about the back to the ballpoint. Do you? I was watching some of the videos, and I wasn't sure if it's just randomly, but do you actually use different ballpoints to get different texture or the density of value onto the paper? Is that what you're doing? Like just kind of as if you're picking a brush, is that what's happening with the different ballpoints?
Yes. So in reality, you only really need to use two. So no matter what two you land on, one is for the lighter tones and the other one is for like the darkest tones that you need. So it's like straight up black that's what you need. Because just as the way the ballpoint is there's gonna be little blobs that pop out once in a while.
Yeah.
And you interchanging them just increases the chance of that happening. So with the lighter one, it doesn't happen as much, but with the darker one, if a blob of ink comes out, it's in a sea of darkness anyways.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mess up your painting.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have
So I try very, very, very hard.
Yeah.
Do you have any
Okay.
two easily acquirable ballpoint pens that you could recommend? No.
You can't go wrong with like the big crystal, like the plain, this clear one. Just two of those,
Just wear with
and
it.
you'll be set.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually kind of want to try
Nice.
it. That
Yeah,
looks
you-
really fun.
Yeah.
You get like a pack of like 20 for like $4.
Oh yeah, with like the
Right,
black
or
caps and
something.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do have a lot, just because throughout the years I've been trying out different ones and see how they work. This one by I forgot his name. Oh, Nicholas Sanchez. He's another ballpoint artist, and he created his own ballpoint that has like 3 different sizes. So you don't have to keep switching between different pens if you don't want to, because you have all of it in one. So that's another one I recommend.
So
Yeah.
Nice.
So
I didn't know he did that. That's
was
incredible.
I believe his pen is like $10 or something,
That's not bad.
and it's another great choice. And then and so they come in different sizes. I think his is 0.5 millimeters. Then there's 0.7 is the next one up, and then it's 1 millimeter. All in one pen. But most ballpoints come in 1 millimeter.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Man, you know everything about ballpoint is amazing. The details.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
Go
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I've been drawing with ballpoint for so long, and I just try out so much, and now I'm trying to find out if there's a what's it called, a fixative for ballpoints or that kind of ink specifically, because and it's apparently very, very difficult to find.
Really?
The fixative tends to darken it a little bit, and that might not be the effect that you want. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Or something else could work as a replacement. Can't you technically use like hairspray for fixative?
I think
you can, but that might do the same thing.
I was wondering if there are variations of certain hairspray that would kind of give a lighter effect. I don't know. There's so many different kinds. I don't know enough about hairspray, so I'm not gonna.
That's a good question.
That might be a little more rough on the. Might not be quite as archival.
I don't even.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like with the vast availability
it could smell nice.
of that's. You know,
Nice.
people don't think about that. An art piece in a gallery. First thing, what are you gonna notice? The smell or the visual? It's gonna be the smell.
Yeah, it might be like a scratch and sniff in the gallery, basically. Just go.
Yeah, you got to make sure your art space smells nice and dusty. Yeah. You got to think about that too.
You could probably use like I think Sennelier has a pretty good fixative for pastels that I think is good, not as darkening, because I think pastels can get darkened pretty easy with
some pottery,
yeah. So that might be something to look at. I don't think you're specifically designed for pen at all, but it might still, it's a fixative, so it still probably would help it work.
I've asked an artist that's been working with ballpoint for like 20 years, and even he hasn't found anything that
really
is, and then I've asked all kinds of other ballpoint artists, and nobody really seems to know. So if you guys, please send me the name of that when you can, just so I can try it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Or if you guys hear of anything that you think might work.
Chris, I think we all know the solution to your problem. You have to be the first one to come up with one.
Yeah.
Just invent a fixative.
Yeah. Easy.
We'll sell it on 2 Idiots.
Just do it.
Set up a little lab back there.
Free tomorrow.
Mixing things up. See what happens.
Just totally change your career path right now. Just just leave school, start making fixative. Yeah.
How do you get into that kind of job? Like somebody
that's a good question.
New art materials. Is there
I think it's just like
by art
necessity is the mother of invention kind of thing.
I think the artists themselves are the inventors, aren't they? Right?
Most of the time, right? Yeah. I think like Michael Harding paints, like he's an artist, and I think he just got tired about having paints the way he wanted them to be, so he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make my own."
Chris, there you go. When you're not painting, when you're not ballpoint drawing, just be inventing new fixatives, and
you just need a little lab back there. That's it.
Yeah, just get into chemistry.
There's probably plenty of YouTube stuff on there how to mix chemicals and stuff. And
how cool would that be? Years down the road.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Everybody's using the Herrera brand.
We would need like 10% of the profit since we presented it on to idiots talking about art.
We're not that greedy, right? I mean, 5%.
Okay, 5%.
Wholesale annual sale.
Yeah.
Not non-taxable.
Honestly, I would just take a high five. That's all I do.
Yeah. Or better yet, just our tiny little portraits drawn in ballpoint by you on the corner of every canvas. Just like a real little homage. Just a little homage. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's got to smell good too. So
exactly. Yes. Yeah, you can have different scratch and sniff smells.
Yeah.
We're giving you so many great ideas right now.
Yeah, you got to be writing this down for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Back to
anyway. Now that we've gone we're going to New York and then we went over to Sacramento. Yeah, right. We're going to come back around.
Yeah.
Do you have wait, I had a quick question. Really quick. So sorry.
No big.
Do you ever think you would teach classes on your ballpoint drawing?
Yeah. I would like to. I want to see how interested people are in that. I don't know that many people that are interested in ballpoint. I think that's one of the main things holding me back on it. But I do have like a little short video on my page of just like tips that I would give. And there's also a video that I learned from a lot by James Milne. This was the artist I told you guys earlier that he's been working with ballpoint for like 20 years. And one trick that helped me a lot was just the way he holds the pen. Like that alone made a massive difference in this the amount of ink that comes out of the ballpoint. I'll get a pen right now so I can show you.
Is that a normal way of holding? Sorry.
I'm really curious about that.
I wonder if it's more.
I'm gonna find a ballpoint that I have here and see if I can.
I wonder if you're holding it. All right. Wait, what do you think? Before he comes back, do you think he's gonna hold it like a regular pen or more like a charcoal? I think it's more like a charcoal.
If it was gonna be like a paintbrush, like side or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's more like here, like this, where you kind of like push down like a brush, but you got your pointer at the edge, so you could push down to adjust the pressure.
Oh, yeah.
That's my guess.
I think that's a good guess. Let me see it. I cannot find it.
Oh,
I have too many ballpoint. They pop back up, yeah.
That's scary.
Your video has just like the slightest bit of delay that where all of a sudden there'll be a totally different
like
image right
there's
there.
nobody there, and then you just
yeah, and all of a sudden you were there.
Well, normally with a pencil, obviously you hold it, how you hold it.
Right.
But with ballpoint, it helps to like just lift it. Let me see, like lift it a little bit and just go like this.
Oh yeah, so you're coming at it
So
a
just
little
like-
bit from the
Yeah,
side.
on the side. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
okay.
changed everything for me when I started ballpoint, because
Yeah,
you get much of a better handle with it that way.
yeah, I can feel that difference in control if you're holding it up just a little bit more.
And kind of just like glide it along the
like a backstroke.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I see what you mean. Nice. Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've had a lesson on the podcast. That's good. I like
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh wow.
I would say that. I feel like every interview is being teaching me something. This is more.
Well,
this
I mean,
is
like
more of
an
an art
actual
lesson. This is more of an
Tangible
art
lesson. Yeah.
Mm.
Not
They
maybe
usually
not like
they're
a
teaching
life
me like a
lesson.
life lesson, exactly.
Yeah. Like a lesson that I can use or that I won't ignore and stuff in the back. It's something I might actually
Yeah.
put to use.
Have you guys ever dabbled in ballpoint?
No.
I have a little bit. It's mostly terrible when I do. And I have a severe patience issue with drawing. It's weird because I can do it. I can stare at a painting for hours, days, months on end and keep working on it. But if it comes to like doing something that's a little bit newer in ballpoint that maybe is a little more instantly permanent, where I don't have the ability to just wipe it off if I don't like it, then I, for some reason, just lose my patience. So I just start getting like scribbly with it and just try to see what comes out of the mess instead of just doing those like beautifully like clean work that you do. Like I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that within a time frame that I really want it to work. So I'll just kind of
I've been doing a lot more ink work, but not necessarily ballpoint.
Okay.
They're trying to get into the actual fountain pen ink as well. That side of things. But yeah, mainly Copic pen as well as like markers and whatnot. Illustration stuff, cross hatching and whatnot. But ballpoint always was just kind of. I think I drew the most back in my high school period, on my notebooks, and occasionally for pre-planning for a bigger piece. That I found it easy to kind of go about it because I don't know. Like I said, the control is really nice to a point that you can get a really light or really dark pretty easily. That it was easy to map out what I wanted in a like just sketching for 5 minutes. You knew there's always one laying around somewhere, no matter where you were. So it was that was the most that I had experience with ballpoint, but not anywhere near what you got going on with your portfolio.
Yeah, I always wanted to get into more like fountain pen, but that just seems very daunting to me.
I dabbled in just a little bit. Like I just recently got the kit and tried it, but I haven't really went back to it. But oh my god, it's hard because
that seems like it would be hard.
It's the angle. It has to be precise. How you go about it to get the right correct angles and whatnot. But what else is fun? I don't know. There's something about it.
Just like a good challenge.
Yeah, the feeling of it just feels nice. When you get a perfect line out of it, I'm like, oh. I just get this. Yeah,
gives you that tingly feeling.
I don't know. I love stuff like Harry Potter and like old, English stuff. So like just fountain and ink and I was just adored it so much that like just having that on my own it feels great. I love it.
You're gonna get one like the quill where you have a feather in it.
I want to.
Oh, that
was
was
what I was
amazing.
thinking. Quill. Yeah. I would like to, but maybe one day. We'll see.
We'll have that on our next interview and just be taking notes as we're talking.
Yeah, I got a parchment.
I just want to see a feather like coming out like from the bottom of the screen.
I have an actual parchment and a feathered quill.
Yeah. You have like one in your hat, and you're like wearing this wide brim hat, and just like.
Oh, hold on one second. I need to go make me some more ink in the back. Let me go distill some coal and water.
Yeah, I think the last time I tried fountain pen first, I didn't know how to work it, so the ink wouldn't come out. So I was like, that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's like never again.
Yeah, I've never even tried that before, and I've watched people do it on YouTube or Instagram and stuff, and it just looks really hard, and impressive. Like it also is like, how did people used to write with that back in the day? Like,
right?
Like all of this beautiful lettering too. I'm like, like the effort that took was insane to me. I can barely type now. I mean, my handwriting's also barely legible. So
yeah,
I mean,
the times have changed.
Doing this podcast always makes me think back or think about the fact that maybe I should start like practicing writing again, because I could barely read my own notes. So I'll keep stumbling on interviews like this. But like, all right, so sorry, I can't read my own goddamn handwriting because my writing is awful. I think this will be a good time. You and I, Ronnie, we should pick up some quill and parchment and start practicing.
I feel inspired.
Good old cursive. I mean, that could, complete random, but it kind of saddens me that cursive is a dying writing aesthetic.
Right?
It's such a beautiful way to look. I don't like English as much, but I love cursive writing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's surprising that they're not teaching that anymore. It's just such a, it's so crazy. I can't believe. Chris, did you? Because you're 31, right?
Yeah. I know.
Did you learn that in school?
Yeah. I still know how to write cursive now. I always forget. I think when it comes to capital letters, sometimes I forget how it's supposed to look. But for the most part, I know how to write in cursive.
Also, even that, it seems like depending on who you talk to, it's slightly different. Like S, do you do the actual S, or do you just do a regular S, continue by cursive? Like, but nonetheless,
let's do it.
Yeah,
they're just a really big.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's like ampersand, kind of ampersand.
Ish. I was gonna say, let's loop it back around.
Yep.
We got a big one there. Come back to Chris.
Oh.
So, go ahead.
Okay. Now in college, do you plan on just sticking with oil painting as far as classes, or are there like little extra side classes you could take on different mediums? And if so, was there any particular medium that you'll be interested in?
I'm thinking maybe for like my last year, I might try sculpting just for the fun of it, just to try something new. Yeah. I think I've seen a lot of just clay sculptures from students in that school, and I'm like, wow, I want to be able to do something like that. Just to try it out, see how I feel about it. It just looks really fun to do. I heard it's expensive, but it seems
sorry, what was that? You kind of cut off for a second.
Oh, I heard it's expensive to get materials and everything. So that's another thing holding me back from that.
Don't they provide at least the clays to workshop in the class?
I think you still gotta buy all that stuff.
Did we buy all that?
Yeah, I think so too.
I had to buy it all.
Oh, you
I'm sure they provide something.
They probably,
for the most part.
They gave us that.
If anything, the storage space alone for sculpting.
That's true. That is true. Although you have to take it back home at the end of the semester, anyways. Or you toss it in the corner with the rest of the stuff.
There is some that I just left at school, and I'm like, well, they'll figure it out.
None of my business now.
Yeah, out of my hands. I can't do anything about it.
Sculpting is a great choice, I think. I mean, perfect way to learn anatomy overall. In such a 3D form shape. So nice.
Yeah, maybe watercolor is another medium that I see people do like very realistic work with it, and I don't understand it, but I would like to eventually learn how to master that, or not even master it, at least just become okay at it.
Yeah.
it's a very, very difficult medium, and there's not that many people that are like.
Yes, yeah.
You are a brave soul, sir.
I have been wanting to try that myself lately. I've been wanting to do some portraits in watercolor and just experiment, because I've been seeing more artists do portrait work in it lately, and it's really like Nick Rung. He's so good. I love his work, and all of the like anatomy, the skull studies that he does are beautiful. So that's been inspiring.
You dabbled in watercolor a little bit, right, Ronnie?
Yeah, like back in college. I haven't done a whole lot since then, but I still have all of that stuff, and I would like to try it again and branch out, because I've been doing mostly just charcoal and oil for so long, and I love it, and I'll never stop doing it. But it's like I'd like to broaden my horizons, if you will.
Did they teach you how to prevent from colors spilling into unwanted areas on a paper?
Liquid mask.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Especially for like highlights and stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, I would cheat sometimes and just like use white gouache or something and like go over it and just make a highlight, which I probably still would now too, because I just like that good sharp pop, you know.
Well, the mystery solved.
There you go. Yeah, that's what I'm here
That's
for.
all that was. Reddy, I believe you had a question about 30 minutes ago before I interrupted you.
No, it's all good. So are you showing anywhere right now, or do you have any shows coming up?
Not at the moment. I think because of school, they do shows there. So I think beginning in like September. No, not September. Like February to like the end of the year, they usually have a class a week that is showing. Yeah. So because I'm concentrated so much on that in school, I usually don't work on my own personal stuff during the school year. At least that's what happened last year. Yeah. It's just, I'm there, 6-7 hours a day, and then to come home and then work on my own stuff, it just feels like a lot. Yeah. So I don't really have anything showing at the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. My showing has picked up through the summer, and I have a little bit in fall, but like once school gets started, I will just be immersed in that, because it just eats your life. Do you have a particular model or somebody that's like a muse for you? Like, do you stick with somebody in particular, or do you just kind of look for good photographers, or just find people that might have like interesting features that you want to draw?
Yeah, I usually rely on my friends. Try to see if they're up for. So I have like hundreds and hundreds of photos of my friends that I still haven't used, that I plan on using eventually. Yeah. But most of the time I just look on Instagram, see what catches my eye, or what about a specific person. Or I reach out to the model, or I reach out to the photographer if I like just their work in general. Mm-hmm. The one of that you guys were talking about earlier, that she's above the water, Here They Come. I found that in a photographer's page, and I reached out. I was like, "Hey, is it okay if I use this?" And he was like, "Hey, go ahead." So nice. I just fell in love with the photo. I was like, I gotta do this.
I just want to say, kudos to you for actually crediting all the photographers that you actually used them as a reference. Not a lot of people do that, and I think that's so nice on your end, and just absolute professionalism. Sometimes I get too lazy to do it myself. So.
Yeah, I usually try and do it when I can, because I find it very annoying when people don't. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I do forget myself, and I have to like go back and like edit it or something. Yeah. But I don't know if you guys know this, but I run Creative Uprising. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Yeah. It's an art sharing page, and the main reason I started it,
you started that?
I was one of them. It was like 4 of us that were supposed to be running it, and within the first month, the other guys just like, "Oh no, this is too much work." So I've been running it the entire time.
Holy shit, that's incredible! I didn't know you did that. That's awesome. I love following that. You guys post so much great stuff, and I've gotten so much inspiration off of that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, the main reason I started is because I kept finding all these art sharing pages, and it would be just a bunch of tags or a bunch of tags, and then somewhere in the middle, we like, oh, drawn by, blah, or painted by, blah, blah, blah. So they'll try to get like follow for their own page or their friend or something.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in there is where the artist is. And that just really annoyed me. So I just narrow it down to the artist and the medium, and then here's their work. So
yeah, that's so true. I love that you do that too.
Which one
I remember some of my stuff it's creative Uprising. It's
Uprising.
Yeah, some of my stuff that's been shared, it'll be like all of this stuff, and then way down at the bottom, you're like by Rodney Thompson. And it's
I hated that so much.
I guess it got shared. It's I'll take it, but yeah.
But it's not the same,
No.
that I want the artists to get the exposure they deserve. And you just don't get that if you have to. Most people are not going to read through a wall of text just to find who the artist is. Mm-hmm. So that's just not. I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, man, it completely blows me away that you run that page. That's so awesome because I have followed that for years. That's really rad.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody found out. I don't know how they did it, but they found out I was a guy that ran it, and I post my work once in a while, whenever I finish something I really like it, I'm like, let me just post it up. And they made a meme about me. It's like me crediting myself, and it's just like, I don't know. I'll have to send it to you guys, but I don't know how they found out that I ran the page, but it's out there now. So
yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, please send us pictures of that. I would like that.
I got you.
Yeah, that's cool.
As long as you don't want us posting that picture publicly, then we won't. But
I don't care. I thought it was hilarious.
Okay, good. Because it will definitely be on.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna even just plug Creative Uprising too with this as well. That's so cool. So okay. Well, that's gonna bring up a number of questions.
You take it away.
So following Creative Uprising, I imagine you have found a lot of influence, like from finding those artists and stuff. Have you found any in particular that have just like you've really latched onto, like maybe like just some that are you've grown really passionate about and like really inspired by?
Yeah, I feel like I repost a lot of the same artists. I'm trying to get better at like branching out and finding new ones. So I usually try to find people with like less than like 10,000 followers or something. So just so they could get a little boost.
That's awesome.
But for the most part, you see me post a lot of the same artists. So like, you guys know Nicholas Uribe?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love his work.
Yeah. So incredible work.
Yeah.
And I post them as much as I can without making it seem like I just want to show people his work, so that's, yeah. But usually you can just go through the page and find, you'll know who I like. That's based on like, how much of their work I post.
Yeah, for
sure.
What
about you guys? Who are you guys inspired by these days?
Rodney Thompson. Oh. Rodney Thompson is who
Chris Herrera. Yeah. No, it's like I feel like that the beauty of being attached to social media is it brings so many different people to inspire you, and so many different. I used to live and die by like who was in the portrait society for a long time. Like, these are all my people, my artists that I love. I want to do just like them. And I think I just was like, you know what? That's not exactly who I am as far as an artist. Like I do love that type of painting, but it's not totally right. And I just love all this other stuff. And I think that's where, I started finding like Chet Zar or Nick Rung, like he, somebody working in watercolor, and people who are doing more like your work, which I absolutely love, like doing ballpoint pen, which is one of those things that blows me away, how people can make portraits like Nick Sanchez, just like being able to make all of these incredible things in his little notebook, like all of that variation. I think it's hard to pinpoint one or even like a top 3 or 4 favorite artists at the moment, because I feel like it's like a Rolodex. It's just like rotating. Like, what am I feeling today? And it's this guy or this girl.
Alan Williams every day.
Alan Williams. Oh yeah, that's
All
that's another one. I love his work.
I'm about to check him out. I don't think I've heard of his work.
It was awesome. Yeah. His Instagram account is I just draw. I underscore just.
Oh,
underscore
okay.
draw.
Yeah.
He's done. What dark is he a dark art?
Yeah, I would say dark art. Yeah, he's done a lot of like concept art and all that stuff for movies and stuff. Yeah. Did tool posters, so yeah.
A lot of my inspiration lately comes from manga or like video game illustrations. Because I try to find a nice point of, I don't know, for no reason, because I've been doing a lot of portrait art that's somewhat semi-realistic, but I kind of want to find a perfect bridge between that and illustration piece. You know, like the works of like, I forgot the name of the artist, but the guy that does like Grand Theft Auto video game cover illustrations. I don't know if you.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of who that is.
Best to describe it if you're not familiar. Realistic illustration is kind of like how I describe it as, right? But in their own style. Like I'm trying to find my own voice, my own style currently, and I don't know why, but I think mangas and illustration seems to be the place I'm looking at for this answer right now. But yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah.
I'll say one more person too that I've been really liking is I think I might butcher her name right now. Well, there's two. I'll give you two. Soy Milk.
Yes. Yeah.
Her portraits.
Yeah.
And that's what you were saying now. So that kind of reminded me of this because it feels like it's a bridge between like almost
like caricature
a manga style and this very beautiful realism.
What's her name?
Like yeah.
Soy
Milk.
Soy Milk with an S.
Yeah.
Soy Milk. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you'd love her work. That and Lauren
Oh
Marks.
my god, I love it.
Yeah. Lauren Marks does a lot of like watercolor gouache ink mixed media drawings that are just they're really beautiful pieces with like animals blowing up or disintegrating, but the movement in them is really great, and her ability to create such a nice color scheme with her paintings, and it's like a soft but rich color scheme. It's really, really nice. Those are two that I've been paying a lot of attention to recently.
Yeah, and another person I thought of now is Colleen Barry. Her work is just, I got to see it in person, and wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because she's in New York too. So yeah. I mean, that's I would love to see her work in person. Some of the stuff she's been coming out with recently is really good. Like the feet washers. That one was.
I got to see that one in person because she had that show with her husband. Downtown. Yeah, that show was amazing.
That's gonna be sick. Yeah, that's awesome.
Rodney. Sorry, I was just looking over Soy Milk stuff, but you're absolutely right. No. This is what I'm kind of talking and referring to. Kind of a Norman Rockwell. You know, he's a good example for that. Mm-hmm. Characterized, but a perfect bridged style of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I hope you find that middle ground that you're looking for, because it's an amazing style to go for.
Yeah, it's hard because it's not something. I don't think it's something you kind of aim and wander into. I think you're just really just going about your way, and one day you stumble upon it, and I'm like, oh, this is it. You know?
Yeah, that's the best way to find it. Like when you stop looking for it and you just kind of stumble into it, and you're like, oh, this is how I work. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask a few more questions, kind of going in a different direction a little bit. So, are you originally from New York, or?
Okay, so I was born in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Then came over here when I was 9. Came to New Jersey, lived in New Jersey for a couple of years. Then I lived in Massachusetts for like 4 years. Then I came to New York. Then I went to Virginia for the military, and then I came back to New York. So I don't. When people tell me if I'm from New York, I'm like, I don't know. I've always had family here, but and I've always loved New York. But I'm like, I can't say I'm from anywhere. I'm just kind of like been jumping around.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's well. How do you how do you think all of those different places that you've probably had a lot of influence from, how do you think they've influenced your art?
I don't really know. That's a good question. I never thought about it. Um, yeah, I can't think of any place that feels more like home than New York. So I don't know if I really thought about the other places like that, especially with like the amount of art that I have access to seeing in New York and the amount of people. So I think overall, New York has probably influenced my art more than any other place.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. How you guys answer that? Like where you're from and how, or where you've been and how it influences your work.
No, so go ahead.
I give them the entire description of where I'm from and my background so that they will regret asking me that question. So they will never do that again. I'm kind of in a similar boat where, so I was born in Seattle, but I was only there till when I was 3, and I moved to Japan, Tokyo, and grew up there till I graduated from high school and moved to San Francisco where I met Rodney, and we basically became a married couple for the rest of our life.
Yeah,
this is true. Hetero life mates,
life mates forever.
Yeah.
and then I moved to Austin after graduating college there, and been here since then. And as far as inspiration goes, like it's weird. It's kind of almost bizarre for me, when people ask me like how did that living there inspire your art and whatnot, because I don't think it's always about where you live, especially when it comes to art, because information is so, especially in modern days, from the palm of your hand, you can get access about anywhere out of the world. That, especially considering artworks, like it's not like I saw great art while I was living in Japan. I saw read books and magazines and textbooks and whatnot, and saw arts around the world that influenced me more than. But anyways, yeah, this kind of conversation is what they get off, what I feed them. Yeah. They were like, "Oh, okay, well, thanks." All right. Never ask that question to any artist again, because I would just wasted 10 minutes of my life that I'll never get back. Yep.
Well, I think for me, it's I'm from Texas, and it's a little bit different from how it works for you. Like I can say I'm from Texas, but to say exactly where I'm from, Texas, I moved around so much when I was a kid. I can say I'm originally from the Houston area, but I went back and forth between there and Fort Worth so much that it's hard to say I'm exactly from here. I now just claim I'm from Austin, Texas.
Okay.
So, and I lived in San Francisco for a few years. That was probably the most profound influence artistically for me. Because I was around other artists all the time.
Okay.
And so I got to pull a lot of inspiration off of that. And I had my outside influences of people I loved and all these artists that I followed, but most of them were dead. And that, being around artists, helped me kind of appreciate my contemporaries, like how I build interaction with other people and all of that stuff. That influenced my work quite a bit. And I think I always, for me, I grew up drawing comics, so I drew I still draw a lot of inspiration from comics. You may not totally see it every time in some of my work, but some of the fire portraits that I've done, that's definitely some comics and surrealism. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks. It's, yeah, so that's more related to my roots. And, yeah, I think, and that was kind of an escape, because I really got into comics. It was totally this fantasy world where I could kind of get away from my real life a little bit, because I was just moving around, and I would make a friend and then have to lose a friend because we'd move again. Yeah. So, it was just my way of that. So my inspiration came a lot too from just general life and how I created. I think it even probably influenced how I drew in some ways too. So yeah, that's about where it comes from for me.
Do you guys feel like drawing portraits? Well, some people are mainly attracted to portraits is because maybe they moved around a lot and they just want something that's I don't know, more people. That I don't know how to explain it. It's just
why we got into portraits as our main subject. something like that. Or,
Yeah, maybe like
Like
subconsciously you just like want
well,
some sort of connection with people or something. If you, I don't know.
That's such a great point, I think. Sorry, not to interrupt you. I just think like that's total. I can completely relate to that. I think it is a way, because I used to do more like with Here They Come, your piece, where it's that just really intense eye contact. Like I used to do more portraits like that, and I think probably subconsciously that was a way of connecting. You know, I'm painting these people, and I used to paint friends all the time, and I think maybe it was like more of a way to build a bridge of connection between me and the portrait to whoever might be viewing the portrait, you know, and that's just like my way of reaching out to the world a little bit more, if that makes sense.
For me, it was always a means to a subject to study the medium, because my background is that like pretty much most of the arts that I do, traditional arts, are all self-taught. Even when I went to college, I was doing 3D animation-based stuff. So some of the foundation classes that we had to take was kind of the prime source of like charcoal as well, mainly charcoal that I learned through college, but it was very, very minimum. And from there, I kind of just wanted to practice more once I decided that I want to go in tradition. And I thought portrait was just the most accessible thing that we were able to get, mainly yourself or friends, you know, take a picture of that. And also with the complexity of each individual, how facial structure works, from shading and whatnot. I think it was just the best way to learn the medium, how to go about it. And then something ironic happened. I started studying that more and more and kept doing portraits. Now, the side of my brain that functions for the abstract side of creativity, you know, because I always wanted to do more surrealism more than anything. Right. But my mind can't go there anymore for some reason. I feel like I lost my creative juice. So
you got to retrain it.
Yeah, it's really hard to go back to that now. So now I'm just kind of like focusing more on just portrait itself. I'm still, you know, because you're never done training, you're never done studying, you're never done learning. So I'll keep doing it, but at the same time, right now I'm trying to retrack myself back to where all this begun from. So yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know if that answers that question, but wait, why am I answering questions?
I know he flipped it on us.
But that would be my answer to that question, if that was the question. I guess, yeah.
No, I feel like you answered it. You guys both did.
Yeah,
that's kind of nice.
Thank you.
Like
Thank you for this interview. I appreciate it.
It's a mini therapy. I like it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to your work for a second. So as a kid in the Dominican Republic, what were you drawing then?
The first thing I remember drawing was a Pokemon. I think one of my cousins had asked me to draw for them.
What Pokemon?
And then, yeah.
Which Pokemon?
And I don't know, honestly. It might have been a Mewtwo.
Okay. That sounds, yeah.
All right.
Maybe. I don't know. It was so long
gone
ago.
With like a Jigglypuff, because that might have been the easiest.
Yeah.
A circle and two circling.
Yeah, and I remember drawing a lot of Dragon Ball Z because I used to love that show. So
yeah.
The statistics of all artists and their roots beginning to mangas or comic books still holds water.
Yeah, so almost every single artist we've talked to, that's where the roots lie.
Yeah, it's like drawing comic books as a kid, or loving Dragon Ball Z, or Saint Seiya from Japan, and like writing those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the way you described it. I think it has a lot to do with accessibility, and you're a kid, so that's like,
oh yeah,
something that's so true. Yeah, with you,
100%.
Yeah,
because what kid at like 5 years old is dissecting and analyzing "Starry Night" by Van Gogh? We're like, oh yeah, no, let me get that little. Like, what posh family do I grow up into?
Yeah,
I'm just like, yeah. Sunlit rooms painting, and they thought, Look at this boss that I just played. Anyways.
Yeah, I think unless you have like artists, parents, that's not going to be as accessible to you.
That's how it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, like, with me, nobody else in my family was drawing or anything like that. My mom was the most creative, I would say, because she used to like sew and like redo furniture, or she still does all of this stuff, but nobody else was drawing. I don't know exactly. I mean, I know it's comics are what led me into that, but yeah, nobody directly close to me, I think, really got me super interested. They were super supportive, but never a direct influence.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, let's see where we're at right now. Naoto, do you have our other question?
Yeah. Well,
from Kai.
We do. Yes. You want to go for the that one first?
I think we should do the Rowdo's random rapid fire lightning question.
Want to do the lightning round?
The
first?
lightning round.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Okay.
So Chris, here it is. We've got 10 questions for you. You can't think about them. You just have to answer them. Okay. All right. Now,
I'm a little nervous.
All right.
Don't worry. It'll be all right. It'll be over
Chris,
soon. Let's like rip off a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, welcome to the lightning round. Again, so just answer however you want. Yeah, don't think too hard on it. Don't explain your answers to us. And don't think too hard about the questions either. Okay. Number 1. What is your favorite film?
Favorite film? You guys already started with a hard one.
Yeah.
Whatever popped in your head.
Don't think. Just what's the first thing that popped in your head?
300.
300? Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Number 2. Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Cat.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay. Nice.
All right.
Good choice.
Number 3. What do you listen to when you art?
Mainly podcasts.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
Okay, cool. What kind of podcast?
Yeah, we could take a breather.
Yeah.
I like learning about just random subjects, usually that involve history. It's like weird events.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff too.
Nice. Any particular podcasts that you may want to mention? For
this one called, I believe, is You're Wrong About. So, like, they just pick a subject and they just tell you, like, how it went down or how we think it went down, and then, like, facts about it that you might have not heard of or about it.
Oh.
So,
yeah, that sounds like a good one.
That is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4. Who are your top 3 artists that influence you right now?
Okay. Colleen Barry, obviously Nicholas Sanchez, and James Milne.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Good choices.
Yeah. All right. Number 5. Boxers or briefs?
Briefs.
Ooh, okay. Oh no, my little study is breaking.
It's diminishing.
It's breaking from our ground below. Number 6. What is your favorite color?
Red.
Ooh, okay. Number 7. Coffee or tea or beer?
Beer. I'm actually wearing
Nice.
Yes.
Again, I must empathize. Do not think too hard about the meaning of the questions, and please don't explain yourself. Number 8.
Okay.
Is that number 8? Yeah, number 8. Rodney or Naoto?
Oh.
Naruto.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
I don't know for what. It could be good or bad. Who knows? All right. Yeah. Number 9. Post-COVID, where would you like to travel the most?
I would love to go back to the Dominican Republic. I haven't been there since I left. And that was like 22 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hope you get a chance to.
Yeah, hopefully so.
All right. And
hopefully in January.
As number 10, why did you accept being on a podcast called Two Idiots?
I think it just it didn't sound pretentious or like I felt like I could be myself and because I also think I'm an idiot too. So it's like, yeah, I'll fit right in.
Well, follow up question: do you feel like you were being able to be yourself in the last hour or so?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
If you said no, we wouldn't air this.
Yeah, no, we would have cut it
No?
off over there.
Oh, no.
Dubbed my voice over it or something.
Yeah.
And this is the final one of the questions, and please take your time to answer this and think about it. What advice can you give to any individual listening to this who is an aspiring artist?
Just be patient with yourself, especially no matter what medium or what subject you want to learn about. It's going to take time to complete the pieces, to find out your style, get into the art world. You just got to give yourself a bit of a break and not be too hard on yourself. That's why I will give myself and everyone I meet about art.
Nice. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you. All right. So just a brief explanation what this next part is. It's called the Question Express. We've been asking our interviewees a question at the very end of the show that they want to ask the following interviewee. So this that's the Question Express. This one question goes from one person to the next and hopefully keeps going without going off rails. Now, this was the question that Kai. So basically, we're gonna tell you the question Kai, who was our previous guest, Kai. We're gonna ask you the question he had for you, and then hopefully after that, you have a question that you could ask for our next interviewee, who we're not 100% sure who it is at this point, but
yeah, we just got to pick one of the two that have agreed. So.
Okay.
Do you want to take this one, Ronnie-san?
Sure. Okay. So, Kai's question was: pick the top 3 artists of your choice, and if you could compare their style against a musical style, what would it be? So I'll give you an example.
Yeah, you made it really hard.
You could say, I think I said this, like, I thought Caravaggio would be a little bit more on the death metal side. And
to be frank, this is a little easier than the previous question, which was bringing up 3 favorite artists and listing in the Mary Kill situation.
Yes. Thanks to Shannon Bott. Yeah.
So, confusing and complex as this one is, it's not as hard as that one.
Yeah,
so yeah,
I see why.
Yeah. Take your time, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have been funny to answer that who you want to kill at this very moment.
I'm kind of thinking we might just have to keep that in our top 10 round
might have
or
to
something.
be in the lightning round.
Yeah.
We
might come back to that. So answer this one, and then we'll just ask you in general. Too, so.
It seems like you kind of want to answer. Yeah, you already thought of somebody.
I feel like I made it a little easier for me because I included a woman in there, so that's easier for me to answer. But
and these have to be the primary kill. They have to be dead artists.
They have to be good.
They have to be dead, deceased.
Oh,
just so that in case the artist that is still alive comes across it, things won't get too weird.
Yeah, it doesn't get a little too weird. Yeah.
Especially with the very part, I feel like it's endearing, but with the and the kill,
and kill,
yeah.
Give it
might be a little weird. Yeah.
Okay. Compare their work to a musical style. Is it like individually?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can compare the visual artist and describe their style as a musical style.
Yeah, musical style or a certain craft, I guess. What is that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one was Colleen Berry. Something about her work just makes me think of country music for some reason.
Oh, interesting.
For Nicholas Sanchez, I would say Kumba is the Mexican style of music.
Oh yeah, nice.
And from James Milne, I'll say classical music.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, what was the last one?
I like this. Yeah, these are good choices. I can
James
see
Milne
that.
was classical. Yeah.
Nice. I'm surprised that you were able to answer that really fast.
Yeah, you did that way quicker than I expected.
I would have stumbled on that so hard.
When he asked that, I was like, oh my god, I would have a hard time. Like Caravaggio one was the one that I first came up with, and I was like, who else would be what? I didn't know where I would begin with that. So
that gave it easy.
Excellent job.
Yeah. All right.
I think the reason I felt like it was hard at the beginning is because I thought I had to compare all their work together to one. I was like,
yeah. Good point. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
now we're gonna go back to Mary Kill. Now you got to pick a 3 dead artists.
Okay. Goya. I don't know how to say his name. Is William Bouguereau, I think it is.
Oh yeah, Bouguereau. Bouguereau.
Yeah, Bouguereau something.
I've heard it multiple ways. I used to say Bouguereau, and then I've heard Bouguereau.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, that's my second one. And
wait, what would you do?
Oh, I was just gonna name them and then give you.
Oh, and then organize it. Okay, all right. Yeah. That works.
Dead artist. Oh, Sargent, of course. I don't know how to even think.
He's made everybody's list so far.
I think he's made everybody's list.
Yeah.
Good. Damn, the legend.
I will go Matt. So you guys wanted out of Mary Kill?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I will go with Goya. Do I have to explain or
no?
Okay.
No.
I mean, if you want, you don't have to. But
you can.
If you want to go into that,
I think that's a personal matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the only one that kind of requires an explanation, if you want to, would be Kill.
Okay.
Yeah. More for curiosity side. It's for
certain
or is it just like I don't get it?
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, go on. So Goya.
So is Goya. Mary, I will go with, I guess, Bouguereau.
I tried
to say his name. And then Kill Sargent.
Kill Sargent.
Kill Sargent.
So you can take his powers?
Yeah.
There can only be one.
It's a Highlander situation.
It's a Highlander situation.
Take his powers and then use what I've learned to continue with my marriage with
Bouguereau.
Yeah, and just learn from them.
By the way, William Bouguereau is what Google is saying.
Bouguereau? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Google.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Google.
Thank you.
And Mary Goya. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Man.
Excellent job.
I just didn't want to do this every single time because there's so much bleeping that I have to do.
I believe in you. You can do it.
It's not that.
This is going to be a lot. I feel like this one in particular is going to be a lot.
We all said it so many times.
Yeah.
Well, because it's not about me having to do it. It's more I've already done it, so I have to continue.
You have to, yeah. You want to continue continuity of it.
Continuity wise.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks for that. Now, Chris, if you have a question that you would like to put on, cargo this up to the Question Express or to make it to our next interviewee. I need a better elegant way to say that. Yeah, anyways.
That works.
Nothing. Yeah, I think that works.
Okay.
The first question that popped in my head is like, name 3. I want to continue the naming 3 artists thing.
Okay.
So, name 3 artists and what you would steal from them artistically.
Okay.
If you could.
I really hope that you just stop there. Like, what would you steal from them? Period. Like, whoa,
that would have been
this
great.
This is gonna be amazing. Dead or alive, doesn't matter.
No.
Okay. I feel like most of our questions have to be like we have to make sure it's dead or alive or both.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's no,
Uh,
like not for you. Like I just noticed that
okay.
everybody always, like we always reference that. Are they dead? Are they alive? Or so it's just funny how that worked out.
Mhm.
because I guess it's kind of weird, right? If it's like, all right, name 3 artists, and what would you steal from? But they have to be dead, as in like, oh, dude, those poor souls from decades ago, they didn't have any position, and you want me to name what to steal from them? Oh, yeah.
Like I'm gonna steal Sergeant's index finger and from the grave and make a little reliquary of it so I can make a shrine. Help me paint better. This is after Chris has killed him and taken his power, so I don't know if I get too much out of it.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Okay, there's a movie idea right there somewhere. Combine a bunch of the random nonsense we talked about
that's a
tonight.
good movie idea. Okay, so we've
That's a new
got this now.
superhero
We've
power.
got our movie and we've got our fixative
Yeah,
that we need to work on.
And we will gift wrap this with a ribbon and everything and present it to you, Chris. This is all
Yeah.
yours. Run with it. Go crazy.
Yeah.
What?
It's-
Anything? Oh, go ahead. Were you gonna say, Chris?
Oh no, I was gonna say the movie idea thing kind of reminds me with what we kind of have to do now with TikTok and Instagram, where we have to basically just be really good at editing videos and making it very presentable and palatable.
Which is
Yeah.
which is kind of the key thing about a lot of artists right now is you have to be able to adapt to more than just your trade tools of your trade, right? You have to be able to market yourself, which is kind of like the biggest problem that a lot of people face, including myself. Guilty of
Yeah,
that.
definitely me too.
But you're right. Those but unfortunately, unfortunately, knowing those little traits really helps out. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like I hate it, but God, you just can't. Just got to stop fighting it and just be part of it, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, and you were gonna ask, like, I remembered what we're using when we record our stuff, and it's really not
Mhm.
that big of a thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Naoto actually introduced me to this funny little phone stick. That's what I like to call it. But you basically can just clamp it onto whatever
Right.
and hook your phone into it and then record. It's not. There are much better ways to do it, but
You still
that is
you still using
that's
that
a
old?
$15 way to record your stuff.
You still
So-
using that dusty old thing?
Yeah.
No, actually. Well, yeah, no,
I see.
I'm,
Just throw me under the bus there.
I'm so using the same.
Okay.
But I've been looking into something different because I wanted to do. I wanted positions, especially doing like ink work or like if you're doing ballpoint, it's a little harder to use this technique just from the angle.
Mhm.
So I've been
Right.
trying to look more into actual multi-armed
Oh
style.
yeah.
Okay.
There's a company called Elgato that's got one that'll actually clamp onto your table. That's pretty sturdy, and you can get an extension and whatnot. That way you can get a perfect
Like above, like a bird's eye.
vantage point from directly above, or even from the sideway, depending on what you need and what you're working with. And then it kind of comes down to like, if cell phone's always the easiest thing to do, especially for like quick arts, obviously. But yeah, I'll say
It's good for the lazy artist, I feel like.
What, cell phones?
I would just say like,
Yeah.
I would say lazy. Do you have like
Well, I'll call myself that.
editing? Like if you have like any editing softwares, it makes it easier because you don't have to record the whole thing, and then
Right.
But
Yeah.
I do find it interesting when some people, like a lot of artists, which I saw you do it too, like actually painting and drawing while holding the phone so steadily. Like
So
I'm like, how do
annoying.
you do that? It's crazy.
It's the
I
worst.
will occasionally do that. It's so hard.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'll catch myself trying to look through the phone,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
and you're like, "Where's the canvas?" Like, I can't.
And some artists do that for an extended period of time, not even just like
I know,
a
I don't know how they
snippet.
do it.
God,
Yeah,
insane.
I can't do that.
Insane. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
can't do that. What the- From the angle alone, because I'm usually facing downwards too, so it's got to be like this,
Yeah.
Like, camera put. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah,
If you guys, I was gonna say if you guys could send me the links.
Yeah.
To the
I'll be
the
happy.
ones that you guys use.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
happy
for
to.
sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a good introduction to just having something to hold your phone, and it's like Rodney said, it's pretty inexpensive too. So
Yeah, it's cheap and it's worked great. I've done just about everything I've recorded on that with that little thing.
the only
So
problem with this thing is it will shake. It's not shake proof, obviously, because
yeah,
it's pretty
Right,
rubbery on
right.
top, so you kind of have to clamp it onto something that you know you're not going to touch. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's going to be like earthquake.
Yeah,
There,
it's all over the place.
yeah.
That's the only downside to it. All right, Rodney-san.
Nothing else from my end.
Well.
Yeah, I just would say thank you so much, Chris, for joining us. I've had a blast with this, and I'm sure Naoto has too. This has been a great visit, and I appreciate you coming on.
And thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, before we sign off, Chris, was there websites, any kind of plugs in that you want to do for places where people could find your artwork? Anything coming up that you would like to mention for the audience?
Nothing coming up, but as far as where you can find me at, basically any social media site that you could think of. I'm under Chris Herrera Art. So I'm all over the place.
Perfect.
Now I'm trying to concentrate more on TikTok because that seems to be the new thing.
So you got
Since Instagram is kind of dying.
Is that going to be Chris Herrera Art TikTok too?
Yes.
Or? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And as we kind of found out earlier, Creative Uprising.
Yeah, my art sharing page. Yeah.
Let people follow that up too. Unfortunately, we lost Rodney here, so
I think I'm still here. It's just
okay.
my
the camera's
video
off.
has decided to.
That's all right.
crap.
Well, on that note, I think I'm gonna go ahead and close this up. Chris, once again, thank you very much for being on this show, and that was such an amazing time. Hope that down the road we could have you back again. To check out.
Awesome.
We would love to have you back.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like it's part one of today's conversation. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll check up on you to see how school's going. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's go over your.
Thank you guys. Seriously, thank you so much for thinking of me and giving me this opportunity to just talk to you guys and just say a little bit about myself. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, we do too. We're grateful to learn more about your process and your work and everything. So it's
100%. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, on that note, folks, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on our next episode. Till then, have a great one. Bye.
Bye, everybody. I'm waving right now. You can't see me, but I'm waving.
They're making art. They're talking art. One of them's vocal.
Naoto-san, I have a great idea.
Oh, what is it?
The other asked,
Let's do a podcast.
and so it begun. Two idiots